Oh, Lord.
You help me out. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me quite well? Just 1 minute. Okay. Ready? Good evening, everyone. Once again, I am Dr. Chevy Aiken. I am your chairperson for the Planning Commission, and I am being greatly assisted by Mr. Strickland because I just got in this position, so I really appreciate his assistance, okay? So today, as we call this meeting to order at 6:03 today, we have approval of our minutes of April 14, 2026. Do I hear any discussion, or is there any type of motion to be made? So moved.
I second.
Okay, it's been so moved and second that the minutes will be received as they are. Our next order of business, old business. Is there any old business that we need to discuss? Okay, there is not. Therefore, we will move on to our next section, which will be our new business. And allow me to read what the new business is. Consideration of rezoning 103 Campbell Street, 111 Davidson Street, 523 Musgrove Street, and 527 Musgrove Street from R1 to R2. TMS number 901-10-01-007, 901-10-01-009, and 901-10-01-013, and 01-10-01-014. Are there any citizens who would like to speak in behalf of this new business, of this item?
And
Stuart
we're now
Owens.
in session with the public hearing.
We're now in session for the public hearing. Thank you. Is there anyone, and this would be just for this one item at this time. We know we have two, but just for this item right now, consideration of rezoning. Okay, sir, did you want to speak? Okay, we have, before you begin,
Call the names in order, and that's Stuart Owens right
okay, you want to do it in order. Thank you, sir. So we have Stuart Owens. Is that you? Come right back up. Thank you, sir. Okay. Now, this will be just 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. And we appreciate you all working with us to make sure that we stay on task. So, sir, if you give me just 1 minute, Mr. Strickland, are you timing it for me?
Okay, if I can find my,
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
I can't ever find it.
Okay.
You want me to do it?
Watch, I got it.
Got it?
No, that's your Apple Watch.
Nah.
Would you like for me to time that for you?
Yeah.
He got it. He got it. If not, I'll have it.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how to get
That's
it.
okay. All right, sir. Are you ready?
Messed it up now.
I got you. Got you. Okay. You ready, sir?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
So, I'm Stuart Owens, and I live at 520 Musgrove. We'll come talk about the zoning. I have some handouts that I gave for the meeting. I think I only made one. I didn't make quite enough deal. So, if you look on there, there are areas shaded in blue. Those are R1 lots, houses, single family, and they only touch other R1 lots. I feel like that should stay that way. Now, there's a portion in red that a case could be made to move it past R1 because it touches other properties that aren't. Personally, me and the folks in the neighborhood think that's a mistake if we do that. The last 2 pages of the petition I gathered from the other folks in the neighborhood who live in R1, like I have my whole life, and want to keep it R1. So, maybe on that list, but I've been looking, and I feel like if we're going to continue
This
to
must be kind of, yeah,
have
that's
and
good.
increase a small town charm and feel, we've got to keep our R1 houses. A lot of them get stored, and if they're gone, they're gone, they come back. That'll be the end of it. And page 54 on the comprehensive plan, I was looking, it shows something like a 20% drop in single-family homes already. I feel like every time we lose a single-family home anywhere in town, not just here, anywhere, you lose a homeowner that would take pride in their home, and you could just open the door for things that are not as devoted to upkeeping the neighborhood as somebody who lives there and continues living there. And I just, I'm here to ask that we keep what we have, how we've always had it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, next one is?
Next person is Jeff DeWitt. Mr. DeWitt, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready, Madam Chairman.
Go-
Thank
go
you,
right
Madam
ahead.
Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. I'm here tonight to speak against the proposed zoning along Davidson Street, Campbell Street. Musgrove Street, as Stuart said, is a major single-family residential corridor, everything up and down Musgrove Street. And this area, this end of Musgrove Street is currently zoned R1, has historically been done that way. Although the applicant has applied for R2 zoning, there is still no protection in the application for the R1 properties that are currently R1 that would comply with the comprehensive plan. So the new application does not comply with the comp plan. It does not offer any details on how the property will be developed or how it will gain compliance with the comprehensive plan. When a developer comes in and they propose a project, and this is an out-of-state developer, when they want to do a project that asks the city to set aside the comprehensive plan, they need to come in with something that's going to knock your socks off, that's going to really sell that project and really sell the benefits of this project in the entire city. This application doesn't do that. You don't have a site plan. You don't have a scale drawing of the property. You don't have anything showing what the property boundaries are. They are proposing on the plan that was submitted, they're proposing 25 residential units. R2 zoning only allows 2 structures per parcel, and there are 4 parcels we're talking about, so maximum, they could only build 8. So things aren't lining up. And there's no information given on the, like I said, the distances, setbacks. It doesn't talk about parking, ingress or egress.
Mr.
The drawing
DeWitt,
looks like townhomes.
go ahead and finish your sentence.
The drawing looks like townhomes, not duplexes. I would urge the planning commission to table the vote on this until the developer is able to get a solid application in, so you can make an informed decision.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. DeWitt. Our next person is Frank Boland. Mr. Boland, are you ready?
Ready.
Go right ahead.
Good evening. My name is Frank Boland. My wife Kitty and I live at 509 Musgrove. This area is just zoned R1 because the neighborhood is comprised of single-family homes. Any classification other than R1 would not maintain the character of the neighborhood. We oppose any change to the current zone and request the planning commission to deny this proposed change.
Thank you, Mr. Boland. That, if I mispronounce your name, please forgive me. Is it Darlene King Sombrell?
Good afternoon. My name is Darlene Key Summer, and I was appointed by probate guard for the Keys estate. All parents was Bill and George King. We had 10 children, 7 boys, 3 girls, all deceased, and it's just left up to us, children and grandchildren of the state. I've been working on this project for 2 years. Our Keys estate was a big estate, and we got 2 investors coming in, A.J. Drake and Omar Garcia. He was at the last meeting, but he didn't give me his plane today, he didn't get tired. A.J.'s here tonight to explain everything we got going on. We're trying to zone from R1 to R2. R2 the duplexes. I have apartments on Gerald Junction, duplexes also, with this high tenants, high professional people coming in. This town's got mostly low-income apartments. We have nothing for high income. In my 4 apartments I've got for 7 years, I have no problems whatsoever. It's been coaches from DC, it's been engineers that's here building projects. is here from law insurance adjusters and teachers, doctors. That's all I had in my part for 7 years. I'm planning on doing some more. So behind that was Kings Estate. I've worked with several veterans trying to get that, get them in. Also, if we don't have R1, if we don't owe R1, R2, it's gonna be R1, single family houses. I've been doing this 2 years with investors. It's gotta be R2 for any investor to come in and do duplexes. If I leave it R1, it's gonna be government housing. I have government housing Section 8. We can't discriminate against the state. It's single family houses. We have parents that has 5 and 6 children. And they're not houses that's got that many rooms built this way. I do with Section 8 all the time. I know all the people there, I can talk to them. They want to jump in on this and have the 3 first houses up front, government housing for parents, for the children, and then single homes back, and it's gonna pass for them. I also want to say that, we've got, the investors coming in here are trying to better the city of Clinton. AJ's already bought 6 houses on My Street.
Ms. King, you please just finish your sentence, please go
He's
ahead.
already bought 6 houses, duplexes, he's showing what he's building, and one J.R. Mart on Bell Street showing what they're gonna do. So you can see the quality of work, what's going on,
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Okay. Alex, is that Summer?
Alex Summer, yeah.
Alex Summer, come right on up. Y'all have such beautiful handwriting, it's hard for me to figure it out, though. Okay? All
I
right.
just got up here to point out, I know that, kind of the big problem is, they say everything on Musgrove Street, is R1. But I'd like to point out that, the property we're talking about is 900 feet from 2-story apartments, which is up above Musgrove Street, and 300 feet from a gas station, a tire shop. Now, we have apartments, 4 apartments that backs up to this property, and there's also a commercial building right across from Campbell Street that's there. So I just want y'all to point that out and keep that in consideration when you think about rezoning.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. AJ Drake. Okay, Mr. Drake, go right ahead.
How's everybody?
Good.
Good.
I'm with TJS Construction, and my partner and I are coming in from Florida in an attempt to purchase the properties on Musgrove Street and to have them rezoned to R2, which we would then try to scale them to do between 20 to 25 duplexes with the property. We currently have properties on Musgrove, currently speaking that. They're rental properties. We're currently building on, what street is that? Is that Bell Street? No, I'm sorry. Owen Street. I think that was 103 Owen. We're currently building a duplex over there. And we're breaking ground on Bell Street with 6 more properties. The plan is to build the duplexes and bring in market value rent to the area of Clinton. We've had some great experiences in Clinton buying properties, and now we begin to build properties. So we're going with duplexes to try to get as many as we can. But again, we're trying to build and bring in market rent tenants to the area.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Joseph Dyches. Is that Dyches?
He's gonna wait, he's gonna wait.
You going to wait? Okay. And there is, so you're going to wait on both of these. Okay, I got you. You were the very next one. That's all right, that's fine. Mrs. Strickland, at this time, do you want to discuss it, or?
Yeah, we discussed it.
Okay.
I'll start with a couple of questions. Somebody said about the parcels, there were only 2 duplexes allowed per parcel. Can you address that, Phil, and tell us what could possibly be allowed on this property, the way it's?
Sure, they currently have 4 properties that are within the request. The total acreage is 3.14 acres. If it was to be rezoned to R2, they could develop the site into individual properties of 6,000 square feet. So they can re-subdivide those 4 parcels into multiple individual lots. If they maintain the R1, if the council decides to maintain it at the R1 level, they currently do 7,500 square foot lots under the current zoning.
How many lots would that be approximately either way, R2 or R1? Do you know? I'm putting you on the spot, but
I'll have to do it.
yeah, do a little calculation. And we won't hold you to it, but just a round number about what we're talking about.
It's around 22 individual lots at this R2.
Okay.
And 18 under the current ordinance.
18 for R1, so they gain about 4 lots then, okay.
And that's assuming everything lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
And they're able to put in the lines.
They do it.
meet all the standards.
I noticed, I went over and looked at the property. I've been over there several times. I noticed Davidson Street on that side is very narrow, and what would be the plan to, I guess they'd have to improve that road to be able to go in there to get at those sites.
Yes, in conversations with the property owner, they do intend to make improvements to that road, but you may want to ask.
Okay. I'll do that in their presentation, okay. Because it's really, just, it looks like a private drive now, but I know it's a public street because it's always been there and it's always been called Davidson Street, but
Yes, sir.
it looks like it needs to be widened to open up to that many sites. To go with what Alex said, I did notice that along there are some apartments on Musgrove Street. I'm sure those were done before that was zoned, before our zoning, because if it had been zoned R1, those would have never been allowed. But I guess they got there before the zoning. I don't know. I wasn't around when they did that, but wouldn't you say that's a reasonable assumption, Phil, that those apartments got built
Yes,
before
sir.
it was zoned? Yeah, they would have had to, because if it'd been R1, they wouldn't have been allowed. The gas station that you're talking about down the corner, it also faces Willard Road, and it's in a V right there. I'm sure that's why that was done too, but it was probably done, that's been there a long time. I can remember back 40 years, and it's been there. It may have been longer than that.
Those are conforming because that's under the commercial zone.
Right, yeah. And that, where the gas station is, that is zone commercial, C3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's allowed no matter what, okay. Yeah, okay, I see it on my map here, okay.
Phil, is it standard practice that we see the preliminary plans with the zoning request?
No.
Okay,
And just because the plans are provided to you does not mean that's going to be the final plan. You're not approving the plans, you're approving the ability to do anything under the R2.
okay.
Whichever zone you're recommending, that is what they have the ability to do.
But if
the zoning is changed by the city council.
And if we get those plans and those plans do conform to all of the R2 requirements, I'm not saying we have to agree to them, but I'm just saying they are what they are.
Correct.
Okay,
That's right.
all right.
There's question or discussion? Yes, go right ahead.
Phil, at what point the properties that Mr. Sumner was talking about, I heard about the commercial property, the gas station, and the apartments. How, do you have any idea how long they have been there?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Over 40 years, I think.
okay.
Yeah, that's a wild guess.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure who I'm asking. I don't know if it's Ms. King or the builder, but is this basically what you're saying you're going to build right here?
Yes.
This exact picture?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just a point that when we say that we are building the duplexes for possible renters, people to rent it, and I'm hearing the citizens speak about their opinions about that, just knowing that there also is a market here for renters in regard to PC students or graduates, as well as residents who may not be able to afford a house. So I'm thinking about it on both sides of the possibility, and feel the comprehensive plan does state that this is, the area is beginning to grow. So would you say there is a market for renters here?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
There is.
Yes, in your draft comprehensive plan, we've looked at the issues facing housing, and one of those is diversity of housing, diversity of housing type, and different affordability ranges.
Affordability.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm looking at more, the affordability of it, for students as well as for citizens here who live here. It will be affordable. Okay.
Are the numbers, the 22 and the 18 units, you're talking about 2 units counting as 1 unit? Does that make sense what I'm saying? So 22 units with 2 residences each?
No, that's for each individual dwelling, because the ordinance allows for 1 individual building or dwelling per lot. So under that, if you had a structure with 2 units, that property line is going to go down the center between the 2 individual units.
So that would be 11 structures. If we have the number
No,
22, it would be 22 structures.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I'm confused now. Say that again. How many duplex units would be allowed on that property with the current?
22.
22 buildings with 2 units in each building. Okay. Okay. We moved our meeting date up 5 days to hear a presentation from a developer about what they were proposing to build. I'd like to hear more about that.
That's fine. You want to go to that part now? Do we need more discussion before we go there?
Anybody here to present that?
That was
the
Oh, that was
man in
it?
the back.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Drake.
Okay.
Did you have questions for Mr. Drake or something?
Well, no, that's kind of sketchy. I was
that?
expecting more specifics now, because we got the plans and the pictures which look good, but I was just expecting a little more information about that. And that's impact design and development, correct?
It's the information that's provided to you.
From that?
Yes.
Okay. Willie, I know you got something.
Mr. Willie?
I've been listening to y'all. Y'all do a good job.
What about that petition? What is that?
This is petition for zoning map amendment. Share this with you. And there's several signatures on this. You've seen this, Phil? You have not seen this. This was, so you want to see it now? It came from Deborah. You want to see it? Okay.
I haven't seen that either.
It was just sitting here.
We've probably seen it. He's seen it.
You've seen it?
I've seen it. He's seen it.
So that is petition for the zoning,
It looks like it's
for the zoning,
4R2, correct. Okay.
for R2, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need to say how many signatures are on here?
not what you want to. And then, Mr.
Scott? Not that I've seen.
Who?
No, I don't have that.
Mr. Owens, did you have your petition?
Yes, it's attached to
on the back.
This one is opposed to
Yeah.
Give me more of that. Where you know. Okay, there it is.
Okay, here we
That's
go.
it?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I can just share, I mean, with you guys just talking, I struggle with this somewhat because and I've said this at several of the meetings about it, I respect the history that's on Musgrove Street. And with this, I just don't feel like I have a guarantee that that's going to be continued. I mean, you can't build an old house, but you can build something that has that same appearance or style. And the struggle though then, because I can see both sides when you look at the numbers, if it's R1 and duplexes are still placed, you're talking about a difference of 4 buildings. You know, I mean, to me, what I would like to see is houses, R1, and that's all R1 houses. But that's not necessarily what's being proposed, and as long as it follows the guidelines, we have to do that. I think I'm right on that. So I'm just sharing my struggles. I would like to see it remain historic, but I just would like to have more plans before I vote on this rezoning. I would like to know something more concrete.
The problem we're having is, we've always been told if it's R1, it stays R1. But realizing that there's always a time for exception. The only problem with exceptions is, once you make an exception, then you've opened the door for everybody. And, you know, I'm not opposed per se to this plan, but we have to be careful, because somebody's gonna come back with another one next month, and then next month, and next month, and they'll be wanting to change the zoning all around town, which we do not want. Basically, we want to protect the integrity of our R1 neighborhoods. We were presented, it looks like a compromise drawing, where you had the R1 to remain R1 where it bordered along Musgrove Street, and make R2 on the property behind that property. You remember that map you gave us?
That was an option, yes, sir.
That was an option. This may be an option we might want to consider. I don't know. Let's talk about that.
Oh, you can't build duplexes on R1, can you?
No.
I knew that.
Yeah. See
I
what
knew that.
See the plan they showed us?
Yeah.
That would have been a compromise to leave that R1,
Right.
but put R2 behind there. Still make an exception, but I think that's a much more palatable exception than making it all R2.
So, let me ask this question, if I'm understanding correctly. If we rezone it to R2, then, just for the sake of conversation, 10 years later, one of the property owners, they then want to build 22 duplexes. Okay? Am I understanding correctly? Somebody help me here. Yay, nay? Phil? Am I understanding? Yes, I'm asking the question because in my mind, if a resident that is there presently, that's an R1, if they have at least that type of acreage, 5 years from now, they can, or 10 years from now, they can then come in, find a developer, and put 22 more units. Hypothetically speaking?
It's gotta be
Could that-
zoned R2.
That's what I'm saying. If we change to R2,
They can do it now, they can do it later, but you only put so many units per square foot in there.
okay.
There's a limit on the square footage. If it's zoned R2, you can build, you can build on a smaller lot. If it's R1, the lots have to be a little bit bigger.
So if I'm hearing correctly, we're talking 10, 15 years, it's no longer a historical area. Am I hearing that correctly?
I don't say you can change
Pretty
history.
much.
Well, it doesn't
Only-
fall
only
though
politicians
within
think
the
you can change
historic
history.
district.
But I-
That line is before where this is, and that's why I was confused on the R1, just not thinking. But I'm just saying, in keeping with what is on the street.
Street.
So when you look at conforming, non-conforming,
How wide?
and that's where maybe,
This
as
is
Robbie
pictures of
says,
the
the
houses that are there
compromise
now, but I don't know how
would
that
be
ties into that.
to do the R2, because
This will all be
it's the
coming down.
property behind here, that's R2, at the end of, yeah,
That's not a duplex, that's a house.
that's C3.
There's no R2.
Is there an interest in that?
I'm talking about the parcel that ends in 46, 046.
I guess that's a
That was a
possibility then, yeah.
proposal to change, make Musgrove Street R1 and the back part
When we
R2.
Two.
get the plan,
Okay.
that's when we get to look at the actual plan, yeah.
Then I'm just messed up.
Well, but then you would still have to change it to R2, right? Because if you go change the back part.
You could, enough there to have different parcels. Front parcel could be R1 and the back parcel could be R2, if it's approved.
What would you say, Will, that it is a possibility or not?
It is a possibility of,
You can
I
fit
think Musgrove
lots
Street
of
needs to
all
remain
lots
R1.
on
Okay,
this.
I don't disagree with that.
There's 3 acres plus there.
And you say that because you feel it should be historical, the look should be historical?
Well, I think you're preserving Musgrove Street. In the last few years, Musgrove Street's had a lot of money put into it, a lot of upgrading and everything, and it's gone from a down street to one of our better streets.
I can understand the concern of the people who live on Musgrove Street now and want to preserve what they have. But I think building behind there where you don't see it from the street frontage doesn't really harm that.
But the proposal is. to
John
change
asked
it
a
out.
question. In this packet, there's 2 different looking duplex houses. One he likes, one he doesn't like. And he said, if we did rezone this, then we'll get a plan presented to us later, exactly what they want to build and what it looks like, correct?
No, if it is rezoned and they're doing improvements to that street, you will get a layout of what they intend to do with the individual lots. But you don't have the ability to require them to put in a particular type of design
Okay.
on those structures. The city does not have any standards for that. So you wouldn't be able to prefer A over B or request them to do option B.
I think what you're saying is if you knew exactly what they were proposing to build, it would help you make your decision.
Yeah, this property is currently not in the design overlay district.
Yeah. But later in the design phase, we really don't get
You don't get
to
to
say, to decide about that. If we
Once
rezone it,
it's
it's
changed,
something
it's
that's
changed.
allowed.
You don't have any say-so on what really goes
Right.
as far as design.
Tonight's
Only the
decision is
layout.
basically allowing them to do any type of use that's allowed in R2, which at this point is basically
Right.
single-family homes, duplexes, and public uses like a church or school.
And that's true of any zone. If we rezone it, then anything that's allowed in that zone in our code book is allowed to be put on that property.
That's correct.
So just to summarize what I'm hearing is that the task before us is just to decide whether it remain R1 or to change to R2. Then we have citizens who are for and against it, as well as we have petitions, many who are for it, and there's few petitions that I have that are against it. I think that the committee is also wanting to preserve the beauty of Musgrove. Is that correct? And but also the duplexes, the diagram that I've seen or that was given to us looks very modern as well. So the question to us again is that what they're asking for is about the one part remaining R1 and one part remaining R2. Is that correct?
That would be a possibility.
That's a possibility? That's a possibility. Okay, so are there any more discussions? And we do not have a say-so as to what plans would go in that property. We would just, our task is just to decide the zoning. Correct? Okay, so are there
Okay.
any other
I
questions?
have a question then. I'm kind of confused. When you said the possibility of the R2 and the R1, but if I'm hearing correctly, if we change it to R2, it is R2. It's no longer R1.
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how is it the compromise? Because then it changes. Is that correct?
What do you mean, what is the compromise?
Okay, if I understand
You
correctly,
saw that, didn't you?
on the backside, okay? That's what they're proposing R2, okay? So are you saying R1 will continue for the front side?
That's
I don't know,
Mr.
that's a good question.
That's
This-
the proposal.
That's probably
That's the
correct,
proposal.
this is
He's
probably not.
suggesting that.
That had been,
I don't-
what's
I don't-
brought before us right now is to change it all
To
to
change it
R2.
all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's just proposing we do
Okay,
art
okay,
like
I
that
got you.
That's-
Used to be a store.
as an option. Any comments, questions?
I would say that's a more accurate.
I
thought.
would just like to point out.
Go right ahead.
Colleagues, public, I have used myself in this discussion. I have opinions on it and I can't share them.
You cannot share it. You will not
No,
share.
he's recused.
Because he
Okay,
did the
you're recusing
survey of the
yourself?
property, he
Okay.
has a conflict of interest, so he
Okay,
cannot,
I
he cannot
understand.
discuss, yeah.
Can you cure that?
Any other comments or discussions?
Where, Darlene, do you own the back part of that property too? I think maybe all the way back? Okay. What is that zone now? No, going down.
On Davidson, the 046.
Yeah, on Davidson. I'm looking here, and we got the blue, but I think, don't you own that parcel back behind there? What is that zoned?
C3.
C3, okay, thank you.
No, I think she's talking about that piece. She's not talking about that piece.
I was talking about that piece, because
Yeah.
it's right there on that.
I think that's zoned R1 now.
Okay.
Phil, come up here, let me ask you, there's confusion over the border there. This is the drawing we got. All this is currently zoned R1, this back here, that, and that. Okay, and that's her property she owns now that's zoned C3. She owns that.
She owns this right here.
That should,
That what?
that's not her property.
Okay.
Okay, that's not
Thank you.
accurate,
All
okay,
right.
that's not accurate, I didn't think
She
it
owns
was, okay.
this one and this one, those currently C.
Okay.
That's for orange.
All right.
But this is what they're proposing to change.
Yeah, that's not, she doesn't have that.
No, she does have that, right?
No.
She does not have that, but she has this and this and this.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. I'm glad John asked.
Yeah,
It's everything here.
all right.
Yeah, okay. And that's the piece you see right there.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question. On the petition for, and help me out here, how many people do we have for that? For the zoning? The rezoning,
For the rezoning?
for the rezoning?
We have not counted them, but I can let you see. It's several pages. You want to see this?
Yes, please.
And then there's also the petition against, and that is this amount. So you're welcome to look at this.
I think I'd be okay with R1 there. I'll do it there. What do you-
Here is the other. This is
They don't
against.
own that, that's somebody else's property.
Okay.
That's somebody else's property.
Excuse me.
This and this.
Okay.
That's the front side.
So they don't own that right there. Okay. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That's not affecting that neighborhood. Okay. So she wants to turn these.
Is there further questions or discussion?
Willie, you said you would not, just so I'm clear, you would be for doing that, or one of that up there. Is that what you're saying?
Leave Musgrove, as long as Musgrove Street stays R1, that would be acceptable, I think, because the back's already joining some other stuff.
They want them?
The back part could be R2.
Okay.
So you're
But our
suggesting
proposal
this?
right now is to rezone the whole thing.
That's what's proposed, can we change what we decide to do? Is they
We
requested
just have to
all
make a
the
move to
R2.
deny, right?
Well, her request is to rezone all of the properties to R2.
I think we have to vote on that.
You can make a recommendation to any other zone that you choose to, or any combination that you choose to, and then council would have the final decision.
Yeah, council always has final.
Okay, I do want to go on record to say
Can you
that,
come here and let me ask you something?
Yeah.
Look at this map. This is what you wrote down. This is the property you're talking about. That's not, that's a different piece of property. You're talking about that property that fronts on that, on Musgrove, and then there's probably Pine. And I'm not saying we're gonna do this, I'm just saying if that was done for R1, and we said okay for R2 there, would that hinder your plans to do as you do, I need to build as many duplexes, but.
Okay, that was my question. I thought you. Well, I was just wondering what it's zoned.
But they can't, yeah, but they can't do duplexes, right? 7,500 is quite small. It's a mill. But I mean, even, you can break your lot up into 3 or 4.
I know.
But look at all the new construction going on, what it is. You got $1 million houses on nothing.
But I would just prefer, like, there is a neighborhood in Lawrence, right there on the road that goes by the Y. And SK is finishing out their own established neighborhood, like areas, and they're only doing 4 houses. And it's on big lots. It's just, I think we've got to honor, there's a difference when you go and you buy this big plat of land and you put 500 houses on it. They're doing this and disrupting it.
See, that's what they were gonna do to Marietta, was put 500 houses.
Right. But that's, to me, that's a separate parcel.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I see what you're saying, but I don't know, I just see this different, I don't know.
You're gonna increase traffic and everything else.
So my name's gonna be back. So why can't we come back maybe 50 or whatever? Just
Make
two. Just leave it, just leave it grass.
This is Musgrove. You're saying this is
Just what faces, three parcels that face Musgrove. That's all you want to make.
It's gonna be divided. That's what I said, honestly, we need to do is, so we can get and just put trees in and raise that good back. That's what happened. Y'all got them apartments up there, right beside them apartments, your homes. And them houses was before it, the apartments were, you know, they come
Those
in.
apartments were land before all this zoning was done, so we can just say
I mean,
that.
the apartments was all, they all was all R2.
Well, they were built in one zone.
But none of it was all, y'all put that in there.
Because they've been zoned.
Gonna make us stay on it.
Because they realized they were trying to leave them. It was only not one, I was on it. Because my thing's on, it's
They
still
would
my
have
thing.
built apartments in R1 if they did.
They changed it. Well, they would change it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because it's realized, but they need to say, so why don't we come back 50 feet, put trees in, and then let it all be homes. It's gonna be a nice house.
How far is it from there?
I don't know,
I know, but if we approve that, then you'd have to resurvey that, because that would go with this, and the front would go with that.
But what if we just do, like I said, we don't get it. No, we get it, well, you got money. Unless y'all,
But you could,
unless y'all.
you could build on one size lot, on one side.
Okay, then we do all one lots here, but we're gonna divide this land small, all it's gonna be some, all it's gonna be two lots.
Yeah, as long as it makes the middle and the farm.
Just come back with some questions for you all. Minimum, and all this.
this is just too much to give away.
Did they good to see?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, but all is always gonna be designed, you know, and done. I never changed that, still ever called it complexes, on all that was on one place, also in that. And I never got rid of because of the value going up so high. That's why I'm here, and I can afford it, you know, and stuff.
Give it to her.
So him, I'm gonna give it to him.
Says meet me later.
I don't know that they're supposed to read it.
Now, why y'all make me read something?
Make that motion, make sure you identify distance, 100 feet, 150 feet from.
I might need some help with that. How far is it from there to there?
I believe it's 100 feet.
100 feet, okay.
Where do they live in Musgrove?
And that's what I would say.
Let me verify
The,
that.
the reason,
Oh, really? That signed a petition?
Verify the distance. That would, you need to make a motion.
I think they need to turn it down and let them bring back the
Really?
petition. Huh?
made a motion to leave that. He said that's about 100 feet from there to there. Leave that front part or more. And then they can divide that however they can divide it into R1 lots. They have to be, 7,500 square feet, and have to have a certain amount of fund. The property behind that R2. Show that to Heather and.
Yeah, I see.
You see, that's.
Do what?
You see that?
Do what?
They want the front part. I think it needs to be submitted.
In the front or
Neither one.
They probably need to resubmit this thing with that if that's what they want to do. Not us be making the decision on it.
Well, if we do that, then we're gonna have to turn down what they requested, but then allow them to come back again to submit a different plan. Is that right? Phil, let me ask you one other question.
Madam Chair, may I go on the record to say,
yes, go ahead.
first of all, I think all of us,
Okay, hold on a minute, please. Go ahead.
first of all, I think all of us as residents, we want to see the city grow. I think that's everybody's viewpoint. But I want to go on record to say, I don't know exactly how many signatures we have here as the petitioners for. But my question is, if you are for, then are you a homeowner? And would you feel the same way if it's on your street? Now, to me, this is apples and oranges, okay? Because if I'm a regular renter, then yes, I am looking for something possibly to upgrade to at possibly market rent. Let's just say the people that Ms. Sumner already has want to move to something different, okay? But if you are a homeowner and the apartments or the duplexes are coming next to you with such uncertainty, that's apples and oranges to me. So I'm saying, and I want to go on record to say, that we need more specific for me, because I'm sorry, sir, what's your, Mr. Owens? I don't know if just Mr. Owens only had time for just his street, and I definitely don't know who these people are, but this is very significant for. But my question is, there again, are they homeowners? It's easy to say it if it's not on your street. Okay? I just want to go on record to say that.
I know what you're saying, and I'm more interested to know what the people that live in this area think rather than just people scattered around what they think. Because if it directly affects you, it's one thing. If it doesn't directly affect you, it's something completely different. So this is a hard decision because there is no correct answer, and we've got to consider a lot of things. We've got to consider what our comprehensive plan directs us to do, and we've got to consider being fair to the residents that are there, that their properties are going to be affected. But we also got to consider the people who own the property that want to develop it and do something that's better than what's there. And I looked at the houses there, they're all in bad repair. I guess they could be repaired and so, but I don't know if it'd be worth the money to spend on them to do that, so. I guess what I'm saying, we're looking for a compromise that's gonna be good, have some positives for everybody and no big negatives for anybody. Does that make sense? Or am I reaching too far? Y'all tell me.
No,
No,
I
I
think
don't-
that you're looking for a compromise, and I think that's commendable. And I hear what you're saying as well. I think there's an assumption that sometimes, and you may not be making, I'm not saying you, we may be making, that renters bring down the property value or that they're not as equal to. And I sometimes have a different opinion on that. I am a homeowner, but I have also rented in the past. And I think that we have to be aware of the assumptions we make, that it's not going to be as good as a homeowner. I am for the Musgrove area keep the historic or the feel of that we don't lose anything from Clinton. However, I do think that the designs that I have seen would not bring down the value of any street. To me, it looks as if it would make things look better. Listening to the need for renters in the area, it is not an easy decision, but I think it's one that we must make. If we can find a compromise, great, or do we want to just stand still? I think that Clinton is a wonderful place to start growing, and we need to keep that in mind. And I don't think we're going to lose anything because we have good people here. We have good people that live here. The area, the geographic, the physical part is not as important as the spirit of the people. That's what I see. That's what I'm hearing. There are good people here that's not going to allow it to lose its feel. But I think that we have to examine our assumptions that if they're renter, then they're less than, and I don't necessarily subscribe to that thought. But I recognize that I appreciate others' thoughts that are different than mine. Okay.
We have to make a decision.
Yes,
what
we
we're gonna
do.
So,
So are there any further discussions that we need?
what do y'all think? What do y'all think?
I think
What do you
based on
mean?
what we got right now, we're gonna have to turn
Turn
down
it.
that
Table it.
request.
Would it be more proper for us to turn down their request and then let them come back with a change? Or would it be okay for us to go ahead and decide what we want it changed to and vote on that tonight?
You have a number of different options. Because this item has already been denied as C3, and went to City Council, and City Council remanded it back to you, and you recommended that it go back through the process again. I would hate to do that a third time. When your zoning ordinance basically says that if it's denied, it can't come back for 2 years. So in that response, instead of going back and looking at different options, I think you either need to table it for more information, you need to make a recommendation of R2, a combination of R2 and R1, or recommend that it stay R1.
I think probably what council's looking for is us to make a decision and not kick the
Well-
can down the road further.
I
They,
agree.
they can also withdraw their request and resubmit it. Is that correct?
They can, but I think they need some guidance on what you want to see.
Yeah.
To make your decision easier or.
I think we basically said that Musgrove Street stay R1.
Right.
If they come in behind that, but the other properties are too.
And that's an option for you tonight if that's
Okay.
what you choose to do.
That can be said in a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And if we're saying we want to see, if you're saying you want to table it to see something else, what do you want to see? Because we do not have the option to make a decision about the plans, is that correct?
Yes, I would make that decision. If that motion comes up,
Mm,
I think that's what needs to be discussed.
okay.
I really don't think there's anything else we need to see. I don't know what it
I
would
don't
do.
either.
Do y'all, tell me what y'all think.
I don't think I
I
need
don't
to
think there is
see.
anything else to see. It's just a matter of the land and how it's gonna be divided up. If it's gonna be divided or it's gonna be one or the other. Basically, three options: all R1, all R2, or a combination thereof. It's our three options. You think that's a fair statement, Phil? Okay.
So are we ready to vote?
I do have a question on the R, so if we say R1 on the front,
Mhm.
are we saying one house deep?
Well,
Are we saying
it's
two
approximately,
houses deep?
the way this drawing I have is about 100 feet from the street back.
It's actually 115 if you want to keep it.
115 feet, okay.
So it's one house deep?
Yes,
Yeah.
If you want to keep it the same line that is on the same parcel across the street, which is not listed, it's at the northwest corner of Davidson and Musgrove. It's 115 feet deep.
Okay, let me make sure I'm clear again, because my mind going around and around. If we do the R1 that Heather just asked about, that would remain R1. And if I understand correctly, unless you change it, then it will always be R1, right? And
Yes.
what we are recommending or discussing for the R2, that would then be R2 and remain R2 until some other time such as this.
That's right.
Is that right?
They'd have to come back and make a completely different request, okay?
Was that right, Mr. Phil?
If council makes a decision to change the zoning, that zoning will then go into effect from that point forward until another change is made in the future.
Okay.
But we've got to understand, no matter what we recommend to council, they can do that or they can do something else. They can say yes, they can say no, they can say, okay, we'll go with what y'all say. We're just an advisory council, and we give them an, what we think, but it's not binding. What council decides is legally binding.
Correct.
But that's their job, that's why they get paid big bucks, yeah. Is everybody pretty much in agreement to split it from what we talked about?
I'm good with that.
That suit Frank?
Say
Okay.
again. Put your,
Does anybody in the audience have anything against that?
if we, any more further discussion?
What we're talking about is leaving the property facing Musgrove Street, R1, back approximately 115 feet from Musgrove Street back, all the property that fronts Musgrove Street, and the property behind there, rezoning that R2. Anybody that's violently opposed to that? Okay. I'll make a motion then, because somebody's got to do it.
He has a hand up.
We have to vote down this one.
He had a hand up.
No. We can go ahead and change it. Okay.
Okay, you asked the question, the man raised his hand back there. You
Oh,
are-
does somebody want to say something?
Yes, he
I'm
raised
sorry,
his
I
hand.
missed you. Does somebody want to say something?
I'll just mention that, Clinton needs a lot of changes.
Mhm.
And if we keep Clinton old and beat up, it's never gonna change. So if we start making changes now, these kids coming out of college and high school,
Yeah.
they wanna see new things. They don't wanna go into a whole beat up house, have to put money into it. So if they can rent it for a little while they go through college, then somebody else comes behind them, that'll keep the city growing. But if the city don't grow, there's no income coming in. And just like I looked at, the internet, and the city of Clinton was on the bottom of the list. So if we wanna grow, we have to start somewhere. And if we keep putting it down, we're never gonna get nowhere.
Those who do the same thing over and over
I agree.
and expect a different result are truly insane.
Same, that's true.
Okay.
And you gotta change and do something different if you want, if you wanna grow. So given that, I will make a motion that we leave the property fronting on Musgrove Street, going back 115 feet, that remain R1. the property behind there and the property facing Davidson Street and Campbell Street, all that parcel be zoned R2.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Second.
Call it for a vote.
Okay, let's call for a vote. All those who are in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay, so it seems like it's
And
unanimous,
forward abstain.
except for one refuse. Okay? All right,
All right, next.
let's go to our next order of business. Is the amendment to the Starlight Ridge PD Development Plan. And Deborah, am I correct? There's no one signed up to speak during this hearing? Is that correct?
Except the people presenting the project.
Except the one
They get-
presenting the
yeah,
property?
yeah.
Okay, all right, and that is Mr. Joseph Dykes. Okay, Mr. Dykes, would you like to come up? Now, does-
We're still in a public hearing.
We're still in public
correct?
hearing.
We're still in a public hearing, okay.
we just moved to another
Yeah.
amendment. You can come on. Does he get 2 minutes, or how long does he get? Okay,
He doesn't
he does not get time.
Because he's
Okay.
doing the project.
But we're still thinking about our time for you,
This is
okay?
something,
Hopefully we can move to the.
this is something we looked at our last meeting.
Okay.
And voted to move forward with the RV park and with the planned development, which includes an RV park and some other amenities. That's what we discussed at the last meeting, okay?
That's correct, and I think that this item on the agenda, really somewhat rolls to the developer, and frankly, honestly, I don't think our intention was for the concept plan that y'all saw last time to be considered as the fully developed site plan. I think that's probably a mistake on my end, just kind of muddy and
Okay.
the waters between that and the PD text and kind of land use exhibit. But effectively, and this kind of rolls to the next item on here, you know, we've had time to go out there, complete some more survey, understand the topography a little better, have a better understanding of the utilities available, and have since refined that site plan into that item E1, which is the full development plan review. And I'm happy to answer any questions about
And the reason that's, the reason that's important, in a planned development, this will be a unique zone. It's gonna be just the things we agree to put in it, and that's what it'll always be. Can't add anything to it, can't leave anything out. It's gonna be what the plan says, so that's why it's important to get your final plan, because it is a planned development. Is that correct, Phil, more or less?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So y'all be careful what you ask for, and we be careful what we can approve, because we can't change it. Can't change it later, you know.
Yes, sir. So,
Okay.
you know, kind of I guess relative to the development plan that was sent over, a week or so ago, you know, we've got through a lot of pieces. We've gone through with the emergency management folks, identified areas that we want to make sure are asphalt paved. We've got a pavement section there addressing that. I've got with me as well Austin Fowler, who's really our staff, principal engineer working on this, and then the developer, Jason's here as well. So I think we're happy to answer any questions and
Do you have a drawing of what you're proposing now? I mean,
yes, sir. I think there should be a detailed drawing in your package.
okay, I just haven't got that for you. Let me look.
Yes,
Yeah.
for that.
Okay, I got it. How many total spaces again for the RVs?
So total spaces, 440 total spaces, approximately 49 acres of open space. The density in the PD text was 5 units per acre. As a comparison, Spartanburg County allows 15 RVs an acre, so we're well below that. When we look at this acreage, I kind of a quick scrub through some of the currently approved single-family residential subdivisions in Lawrence County. You have a 108-acre piece with 429 approved single-family homes. That's the Berkshire development.
These are cabins.
Yeah, cabins.
Our density is very amenable, and there's really no other land use that we could see bringing that kind of open space and preservation to the site.
This is Highway 72 up here, right?
Yeah, I
On
think
that side, okay.
there were a handful more amenities in in what's currently presented in the concept plan you saw before. Honestly, there are variations of that concept plan, so I'm not sure in front of me which one was kind of looked at. But I'm happy to answer questions about kind of where we are. I think it's a solid plan. I think the team's ready to move into preparation, construction drawings, and permitting.
Somebody mentioned to me today, there's only one entrance, one way in, one way out, right? And somebody asked me this question of what would happen in a disaster if you had a fire, uncontrolled fire within the development or some kind of disaster with only one entrance and one exit. How are you going to get everybody out? That's just a question that was posed to me, and I thought it was probably a good question.
Yes or no, that's fair. I don't know. I guess we could look at that. I don't know that we have in some areas we see kind of a maximum unit. Whether that be a maximum number of tenants or something, kind of dictates the secondary entrance.
Yeah.
I don't know in the city of Clinton ordinances. I've seen a specific requirement. The DOT is going to be restrictive in curb cuts to the right of way.
Yeah.
So they're going to be pressing us to have as few curb cuts as being service project.
They're pretty much non-negotiable too. You can do what they say or you can not do it. That's their two options.
That's right. We're going to have to be compatible with the ARMS manual and EPPS, the permit process system.
Everybody remember where this property is located on Highway 72, way out past the interstate, right on the edge of town. It's currently in the county, and what they're asking for is to annex it and also to zone it the planned development that they're proposing.
And I think we received the first approval through council.
They had a first reading, yeah.
I think there's enough straightaway in there that you can get two entrances and not have a sight distance problem.
Possible there's not a site distance problem. Also, I probably prefer to also if he's had conversations with the DOT, but very similar to, it's like the industrial park next door. You put 500 employees in there, but they're compacting it all at one entryway for 5 or 6 floor plates. It's kind of same concept.
And all this will be on city sewer, city water, city power, correct? Okay.
And city fire hydrants.
And fire hydrants, yeah.
That's right.
And the city, I wish the city manager hadn't left because I'd ask him, we do have the capacity for all that.
Yes.
Okay, y'all talked about that, okay. Just to make that clear, okay. And one thing I brought up at the last meeting, RV parks are not allowed in the city under any of our zoning, but we're gonna allow it in this planned development. And my question to our city attorney was, can we do that? And I did not get a final answer. I got, that's a good question, I need more time to study it, but I never heard back from him. And I've talked to him one more time, did he give y'all a final answer on that? I mean, I just wanna make sure we're not doing anything that's violating our codes.
He didn't say anything at first reading Monday night.
Okay,
If I can just piggyback on what Joseph mentioned, is the original plan was for 382 RV spaces and 30 cabins. The revised plan shows 440 RV spaces and 49 cabins. Both of those are increasing. We don't see that as a substantial change because they are still within what was identified within the text of the document of 5 RV sites and cabins for the entire parcel. So with that, we just want to identify within the text, or we would make a recommendation to you that we modify the PD language to state that the total short-term rental locations, which include RV spaces and cabins, not to exceed a total of 489. That's the two numbers together.
yeah.
And that RV spaces shall not exceed 440. So that way, if they want to build more cabins, they could do so. They would have that flexibility to do that. But their layout that they're proposing here, we think is better than what was originally presented. So with that, we don't feel like it's a major change. However, I still want to bring it to you, make sure everyone was on the same page before it gets to final reading before City Council.
And it will go to final reading at the next city council
June
meeting?
1st, yes,
June
sir.
1st, okay. Okay.
Any further discussions or questions?
Just as a point of, this is just information for you. I attended the Lawrence County Planning Commission meeting last week, and somebody got approved another RV park. It's of course in the county, it's not in the city land, it's in the county, but it's on the Reno Springdale Drive, right across from the townhouses that are being built, right behind the dollar store. Did you know that was gonna be proposed?
I did not. I know that developer.
Yeah.
I can tell you this is a very different project than that.
Yeah.
I've worked with them before. But I saw that. I'm not sure that that doesn't need to be annexed based on utilities of the city. I'm not sure that the city should be interested in.
I can tell you, I would not recommend annexing that because that does not meet the requirement of the PD. And we don't allow RV parks in the city, so we could not annex it. All he's proposing is just an RV park with 97 spaces and an office building. That's it. That doesn't meet the requirements for a PD. That's an RV park, and we can't do RV parks according to our code. So I hope he's comfortable being in the county because that's probably where he's going to be forever, in the county.
That's
They didn't mention utilities or anything like that, so I don't know what they're proposing to do there, but they're big boys, and I'm sure they figured it out, but we can't help them for that reason. I just wonder if you knew that, but that was interesting.
I was aware of that. At the meeting last week, I learned that.
Yeah.
But this is a different level of quality.
Okay, do we need to vote to accept their new plan?
Okay.
You wanna
Is
make a
there,
motion?
is there a motion?
I make a
to
motion
accept?
to accept the plan.
I'll second.
Second. Motion's been made and second. Any, want to vote in the sense of raising your hands, yes or no? Okay, it is unanimous. Okay, thank you.
Raise your hand.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can we modify the agenda
Mhm.
to bring up development review item number 2 before number 1? Can we switch those?
Yes.
The applicant is in attendance and has another engagement that they need to be at.
Okay.
And in order to accommodate her.
Yeah.
Sure. Can we switch it? Okay, so under development review, we'll do number 2 before 1?
Creek Phase 1, and Mr. Dykes is representing that request.
And we're not in public hearing
Public hearing.
anymore.
Correct.
Public hearing is now
No, this
closed.
is open session, okay.
Okay, all right.
Do you want me to stay up here to answer questions on Shell Creek?
Sure.
And we have the developer as well.
Yep, yeah. First, let me ask, what exactly will we be asking, it says to do a final review, what exactly will we be asking to
This is a
do?
final review for Phase 1 of Shell Creek. Final review is they have to have all the infrastructure in order for them to begin selling lots. Currently, all of the infrastructure is not in place, and so they're going through the bonding process. And they have a number of items that they've been working on to bring to you. And so tonight's request is to get in front of you for that. They've been working with our staff for utilities, roads, all the infrastructure for the site. They've also provided performance bonds and maintenance bonds here for us as well. So they're getting to that final stage where they are getting that first phase ready to go. And as a part of that, it's reviewed by.
Yeah. I rode through there today and it's made a lot of progress, but there's still a lot left to go. The rain didn't help. It's pretty muddy out there, but it's muddy everywhere now that somebody's building something, so. Yeah. Yeah, the rainy season has begun. We had all the dry weather it's like we're gonna get for a while. But anyway, but that's in our code that all the infrastructure has to be completed, inspected by an engineer, signed off by the Public Works Director before y'all can start actually building houses. But that's what y'all are working on, I guess, y'all.
Yes, sir. So we're at the point of final plat. So so that's the infrastructure's in. The intent is to get the final plat approved so that we can get it recorded, get tax maps and addresses so that they're
Yeah.
closing and the builder could be.
But all that work still has to be done, correct? Yeah.
We're finished. So we actually have, the water and the sewer has been tested, all the stormwater is finished. Phase 1 is complete, except for street signs, mailboxes. We're paving, there's one area in a cul-de-sac that was wet, and so we're paving it Tuesday.
Okay.
And that's all that's left there.
But the final layer of the street isn't in there.
The surface,
And won't be done until the other phases are complete, right?
that's the performance bond.
Yeah, the performance bond was because, when we started this project, it was told to us to go with the 2 layers of the street because the city did not want to adopt a road that had all the construction trucks on. So we've done the first coat of asphalt as soon as that area has been built out. And they actually are, Cedric Holmes is the builder on this, and they're doing 38 at the first takedown, and then another 20 in December. So they're a quicker builder in there, and then as soon as they're out, within 2 years, we'll have the top surface. And so we did get the maintenance bond and a performance bond to do the top coat.
And that's okay, the city's okay with that, you've talked to them about that,
Yes,
doing that performance, and this is just for phase one, can we do that, do it in phases like that?
yes.
Okay,
And you have done that. Springdale Towns did that.
we
same.
did, yeah, we did that in
I think
phases,
they
okay,
had phases.
Yeah.
Did they? They went in phases.
Yeah.
They have their, Ryan Home Community has.
Yeah, Ryan was done in phases, I think a few of them takedowns like that.
But she is correct.
Stone Creek.
Stone Creek is done.
The city prefers to do that because they don't have a secondary entrance for construction traffic. So we prefer to not put that top coat on there if we're accepting the roads, because we don't want.
until all the traffic's done,
Correct,
yeah.
that's right.
That
And
makes
so
sense.
the bond will be in place
Oh.
to cover if unforeseen circumstances where the city were to have to go in there and finish
Yeah.
complete that section.
Okay,
So we'll do that. I mean, we as a developer prefer to do it now, but then, there is a lot of
Well.
damage there.
a lot of unforeseen things could happen to it during the construction process. Now, how many phases to this project, 2 phases? Just two?
Just
Okay.
two. And,
Okay.
and there's not a hold on the second phase. The second phase will actually, it's in progress right now, but they really want to get in and start building this summer. And, I mean, to be honest, I would really like to get out of some of my loan money. So, which is helping us
Mhm.
continue on that second phase. But there's no slowdown, there's no stoppage at all.
Is there a time limit that phase 2 has to be done? I'm just asking, I don't know.
We'll be done by October.
Okay, because I know we had one subdivision that phase 1 was done in the 80s, and phase 2 is just now finishing up. And I don't think that was a problem, because they did the house in the front first, and they came back and did it. The one out on Charlotte's Road, is that in the city? The one on Charlotte's Road?
It is now, yes.
It is now, we annexed that, okay. And I don't know if that's critical, because you build them as you sell them, but just to make sure everything in phase 1 is done up standard, but.
There's 2 different developers.
Oh, 2 different developers, phase 1 and phase 2?
We're gonna be finished by October.
Oh, you're talking about out there?
At Hampton Woods.
Oh, yeah, in Hampton Woods, yeah, that is, yeah, because that was pretty far apart, yeah. Okay. Any questions, anybody?
If you were to make a motion to approve, I would recommend you make a motion based on the information that's provided to you on the development review sheet, just to,
Okay.
a conditional on final approval.
Okay, is there a motion?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to hog the meeting, see,
That's okay, that's
Give a
okay.
final approval for something that's not finalized. That's what
Yeah.
I'm confused about.
but they do have a bond to make sure that it is completed,
Yes,
correct? Yeah.
we call that bonded final approval,
Mhm.
conditional. bonded final.
I mean, I can say, am I to say a motion to approve the development review of Shell Creek Phase 1 final review? Is that what I'm reading?
Bonded final review.
Bond
Final review.
I make that motion.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, motion's been made.
Just to clarify, with the items listed,
That's where I don't have that piece of paper. It might be in my, where am I looking? I think that's why we were all quiet.
Yeah, like,
We were like, well, what are you?
what are we
talking
supposed to do?
it should be included,
The staff recommendations, is that what you're talking about?
yes, that for development review.
Okay.
All right, so the bonded final review for Phase 1 of Shell Creek with the conditions that the staff reviewed?
That is
or
listed.
That the staff listed?
Yes.
And do I need to read those?
You can if you choose to, but I'm gonna give the engineer a copy of this. Everything is completed. Item 1 is completed, but we still have some items left on 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
We're sending files to Phil like 2 hours ago, so
Right.
Yeah,
we're at the wire.
it's not that they have completed them, it's we have little tweaks and individuals within our staff need to review those.
And it's all items that staff has to review,
Correct.
and you are on it, and
Yes,
staff
we
is.
feel comfortable with that.
Then I keep my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and properly second. Are we prepared to vote? All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, unanimous vote to pass it.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, the other item that was on the original agenda, Starlight Rigs, that's the RV park, correct?
Yes,
We've
we're
already
going
done
back
that.
to RV park.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And just for the record, I gave him everything you emailed me today.
You printed all out.
All of that. Yeah. Okay.
So we're not doing the preliminary review of the we have already done that.
No, we have not.
We have not done that, so we want to
Yes.
entertain that now.
Yes, Mr. Dykes. would like
Mr. Dykes, go right ahead.
to you as well.
Yes, so maybe that's, so is that in the packets? That's the one that
We're going back to
Yes,
that
number
new
1.
drawing that you approved as their new PDD plan development site plan.
That's this plan that was in their packet, right?
Not that one.
Not that one?
This one?
Show us which one.
This one.
That one, okay.
Oh,
The
yeah,
RV
okay. This one.
part. That's it.
That's farther back.
All right, next time you have to print the
All
color.
right, we'll find that one.
I
It's
left
gonna
my,
be in the middle
I
of
got
the
it right here. This one?
Is that it? I just don't have the color picture.
We're going back.
I'm going the
That's
wrong
not
way.
there. It's in the information that was
It's in the
emailed to
other
you.
stuff.
If you printed that.
this stuff you'd already, this.
I don't know if I, well,
Starlight Ridge PD.
I got too much stuff.
Starlight Ridge.
Right here.
Oh,
Mhm.
That was from the previous meeting.
Okay.
That's not from this. That was from our.
Um,
I don't
yes.
think I have a copy of that.
I don't either.
Show that to him.
Oh,
What you
Yeah, I
getting?
don't think I have a copy of that, the new one.
Wait a minute.
because that's the commercial.
That's it.
Yeah,
That one.
okay.
I got it
Here it
somewhere.
is. I think it's here. Is this the one you're talking about, Phil? That you gave me? I brought all over it.
It is halfway after this summer.
After that. No, not that. That's it, okay.
Okay, there you go. Okay. This is the new plan, okay.
Mhm. Can I ask you a question? Now, we're talking about, no, that was Shell Creek. We're talking about
Yeah.
Starlight now.
Yeah.
So Starlight would be.
Yeah, please, if you got one, yeah.
Starlight Ridge PD.
Yeah.
Okay. And the design is right behind it.
That's this right here. We'll show this one.
So your request is to amend the layout of the development? Is that correct? Am I reading this correctly?
No.
No?
They are requesting preliminary review, which provides them the opportunity to begin construction on the site. For them
Do
to
the
be-
site work.
Correct, for
Okay.
those water, sewer, and drainage
Okay.
for the development. They have provided to you on that same development plan, the layout of the paved road, entranceway into the development, and
Mm-hmm.
this will provide them the opportunity to go ahead and begin construction on the site.
Clearing the land, doing the grading, that kind of thing, okay.
This is a little unique in that these are RV sites, not individual home sites that are being sold like what we just reviewed. So it's not a hard and fast development review cycle like you would see on a regular subdivision or multifamily development.
Mhm.
So we're providing this to you as an overview for him to begin doing on-site work on the property and for staff to review that.
Okay.
And because there are no individual sales of any of these sites or cabins, you would not see it as a final review.
Our next step would be going and getting permitting with DES, the DOT, and
then then building codes would have that final look before, go for start to be moved.
This is just our okay to go ahead and proceed with the
Yes.
plan.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? A motion?
I make a motion that we accept their preliminary plan for now and vote for them to continue on from this point. Is that okay?
I'll second.
Second. Okay, motion is made and properly second. Are we prepared to vote?
Okay.
By raising your hand, if you're in agreement. Okay, unanimous. Thank you. All righty. Now at this time, are there any other items of discussion? Are we there?
Yes.
Any other items of discussion? Okay. All right. There is no report from the planning director or this report. Anything?
The only thing I did want to mention was what was mentioned earlier about various parcels in the county under development review or being approved by Lawrence County. We have talked at length about options provided to you of planning outside of the city jurisdiction. And one of the options we talked about was requesting Lawrence County to provide us with applications, plans, when they receive them that are within a certain boundary outside of the city limits. If you would like to enter into a discussion with them about doing so, that was an option we talked about. We talked about another more formal request for this body to review applications outside of the city limits. But I think at a minimum, it would be a good idea if they were at least able to provide us notification when properties within a certain boundary outside the city limits were being proposed for a change. Potentially, we would be in a situation where we would be annexing property at a later date. And so I think the city has the option to at least provide some opinions on what they think would be a good use of certain properties in Lawrence County within a certain boundary.
I think that's a good idea because it gives us an idea of what's coming.
Whether that be a formal recommendation from this body or whether they provide notification so that we can attend their meetings, that's all up for discussion. But I think there needs to be communication before we inherit things that we may or may not like or may not fit our comprehensive plan.
Right.
So I just bring that up for discussion. If you'd like for me to have discussions with anyone, if you would like to provide some communication to Lawrence County, however you'd like to do that, I'd be willing to help you in any way.
Do our ordinances presently say if they will receive any city utilities, whether it's power, water, sewer, that they will have to connect to us?
The city, I don't know if it's a formal policy, but they do have a requirement that if you receive city utilities, that you will annex when you become contiguous to the city limits. The request that we had for annexation last month was just one of those, where an individual requested utilities from the city 3 or 4 years ago, signed that they would annex into the city if they ever became contiguous, and we identified that they were contiguous, and we went through that process last month. So there is precedent for that.
But the city has provided utilities for people outside of the city limits.
They have,
At a
and
premium?
they do.
At a premium?
I think
Water's
they-
1.5 times the
It's a
rate. I'm not
different
sure about
rate.
electricity, yeah.
However, the city has to be contiguous to that property in order to be able to annex.
Well, your question is, there is property that is not annexed that the city provides utilities for them, but that's been
Yes.
going on for a long time, yeah.
Yes, the city
Yeah.
has a utility service area outside of the city limits where it has the ability to provide utility service.
Well, I know my son owned a house outside and he was having to pay 1.5 times the water rate. I'm not sure about electricity, if it was more or not, I don't know, but
That's fine.
The city provide you electricity in Marietta?
Oh, I don't know. But they do provide
Another
electricity
provider.
outside
I
the
think
city.
so, dude.
I used to live out there, should know. I don't know, I don't remember who paid my, I think they did. I think they did,
Oh, that's city owned.
you know, because I didn't pay my bill one month and they threatened to cut my power
Yeah.
off. I didn't get a bill in the mail.
I think there definitely needs to be communication between the county and the city. You know, I don't know how you define the proximity, how close it has to be, but I think definitely you need that communication, because I heard about the other part just through conversations with folks, and I was like, I don't know about, you know, I don't know about that. And the people in the city should be able to know, people who live nearby, but they might not know to look to the county for that information.
That's a good point. The reason I went to their meeting last month is somebody called me and said, do you know they're looking at a request for an RV park? And I said, I did not. And they said, if you want to know about it, you better go to the meeting. So I did. And that's how I found out about it. That they
There
were,
was no, I meant to ask you earlier, there was no sign posted? This wasn't
they
a-
said, and that came up at the meeting, and they said they were not required to post property to do things like that, which to me is not good. It's
If it
very
was-
not good
if it
because,
was not-
yeah,
If it wasn't a rezoning request,
no.
then
It was zoning.
if it was a development review
Yeah,
process,
yeah.
then they.
Yeah, it was not, they were not changing the zoning, because in the county,
Oh, there
RV
is
parks
no
are
zoning.
allowed. So they didn't have to rezone it to do that, and of course, it was already in the county, so they didn't have to annex, and that's maybe why they didn't do that. But I still think if you're gonna do something like that, surrounding property owners need to know, because they
That
may
would
be opposed to it.
interfere with, if we look at our plan for expansion, because we might not want an RV park in that area, but we might have to bring it in, annex it
No,
in
we-
order
no,
to do
We
the
do not have,
surrounding.
we do not have to.
But I'm just
It's not-
saying, it puts
yeah.
us, I think, in a sticky
Puts us in a bad
situation.
position, yeah. If we have communication, that would be a good time to tell the people that are gonna build the RV park, if you're planning on annexing it into the city, don't, because
That's
it will not
definitely.
be. Because we don't have a zone for RV parks, we can't do that. They need to know that before they go out there and
It
spend a bunch
might
of
be a
money
way
and
to
build
get
an RV
people to
park.
annex in, because there's no zoning in the county, and maybe they can, protect what's next to them.
Possibly,
their
yeah,
own.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But the more we know, the better off we're gonna be. If we know what's coming, at least we can prepare for it, or make a plan for it, or do whatever we need to do. But it's better to know than not to know and get blindsided.
I agree.
And I know most of the people on their planning commission, and they've got a really good group of good citizens who kind of have the same, they want to make the county better, and we want to make the city better, so we're kind of all working for the same goal. It might be a little different priorities from time to time, but we're basically looking for the same goal.
So I
That's all
think,
I had.
that's all you have? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I don't have a report as a planning chair. Commission report recommendations are, is there a motion to adjourn?
Absolutely, so moved.
So
Second.
moved.
This girl's
Adjourn.
tired.
Okay, so Phil, you still going to the workshop?
Oh, we're still
What you gonna do?
meeting.
Yeah, talk.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, ask them, because I need to
What you wanna
postpone
do?
tonight.
Phil, can we postpone the workshop?
I was about to say,
I was going to
Yeah.
suggest
Yeah.
that we not meet on that. But I have all these maps for you, if you would like for me to send, to give these,
Yes.
so you can
Yes.
go home.
I would love a hard copy.
Yes.
Now, I have to, I say, before the
they
meeting,
suitable
I
for
sat down and
framing?
read all that you sent us about land use. Didn't you send us that?